Good morning, or depending on when you're listening to this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross from PTCGRadio, and we are back with the Juniors final from the UK Trading Card Game National Championships in 2015. Like the Juniors, we don't get an opportunity to get the Seniors on stream on the YouTube channel very often, so an exciting opportunity here. Now in this game, we have Adam Gregson and his Virizion Genesect list playing against Kyle Guest's Primal Groudon list, and I'm joined in this particular game by the lovely Jake Walvin, who we have actually had on this stream on my YouTube channel for a couple of rounds. I believe we featured him in round 1 and round 8. Here you get to hear me commentating with him. So just like in the previous rounds, we had a bit more time, so I got a guest commentator in, and I think he did a fairly cracking job, to be honest. Usual rules of, you will have to forgive me for the fact that this was a stream that went out on the day, so you will have to put up with a couple of references to the stream, tweeting in, etc. And because it was a seniors game, there's no interview at the end, but I assure you the game is cracking, so we don't need an interview at the end. I think it's good enough as it is. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with the seniors final from the UK National Championships, and we've got what could be a fairly interesting game, or could be a fairly one-sided game. We'll get the names right in a minute, but on the left we have Adam Gregson playing Virizion Genesect, and on the right we have Kyle Guest playing Primal Groudon. But first, let me introduce you to my partner for this particular round, Mr. Jake Walvin. Hey,
Hello.
Jake. Jake, you've seen him on the stream already this weekend. He made top 8 at this tournament. He's got his World's invite, so he's going to give us a hand for this particular round.
Pretty interested in this Virizion list. It's playing one potion, a couple of lasers. It's playing a Skylar with an R at the end. Yeah, it seems very solid. It's going to have some couple of problems against 4 Wobbuffet because you can't red signal around it. So this could be a win for Groudon, surprisingly.
Could be a win for Groudon. I mean, the biggest problem is that obviously Primal Groudon, the whole point of it is he's basically saying, in your face, you're not going to knock me out. Well, you don't even need a G booster on a Genesect, assuming there's no hard charm or anything on him. You just need a muscle-banded Megalo Cannon to get the KO. You're absolutely right, though. The Primal Groudon's got the Omega Barrier. Yeah. We saw this in the previous round, the Juniors final. So you can't use Lysandra or Catcher to bring him active. You can use Genesect's Red Signal ability. As you've pointed out, we've got plenty of Wobbuffets here, which are going to try and stop that happening.
Exactly. You can only... you can't track it out if you've got a Wobbuffet active. And he's got another little problem, is that this Groudon runs 4 Mega Turbo, so he can power them up quite quickly, and he also runs Focus Sash.
Now that's an absolutely key card. Tell us about Focus Sash. Why do you think it's so key?
Well, Genesect can't kill him in one shot. He can't even kill him with G-Booster, because the Focus Sash, it doesn't stop the damage. The damage happens, but then you survive it.
Absolutely, it's a key card. It basically means he cannot be one-hit KO'd.
Exactly.
Which is, quite frankly, it's quite important when we actually get down to it. Now, I would put, I'd put Adam Gregson as the quite strong favourite here.
Okay.
But you think, that with the whole being able to essentially slow him down and then get the Primal Groudon out, you think Kyle's going to have a fighting chance here? I
think Kyle's got a very good chance. In fact, I'd maybe go as far to say he's the favourite if he plays it properly. I'm having a look at his list here. He's only got 1 switch and 1 escape rope, and he kind of wants to get that Groudon out of the active ASAP and get into a Wobbuffet, because Wobbuffet really stops a load of things. You'd have to bring a Genesect active to even one-shot it, and then you don't even... the 20 snipe actually on the Groudon is probably going to be key in this matchup.
I agree entirely, because one of the things about Focus Sash is Focus Sash only comes working if the fighting Pokemon to which it's attached has full HP at the time of the attack. So you're absolutely right. Genesect's 20 residual damage from Megalo Cannon. Oh, he's got the escape rep there, so he's going to get the Wobbuffet out.
In fact, the 20 residual damage, the Primal Groudon, looking at the list now, doesn't run any healing cards, which the version my friend Sam and I, we ran 2 Steven. We call it Steve Don. And Steven allows you to get supporters, so it allows you to get things like Pokemon Center Lady to heal residual damage and things like that. And unfortunately, Kyle isn't playing anything like that, so this could actually be quite one-sided in Virizion Genesect's favour. I actually changed my opinion quite quickly there.
Well, he does still have... Now, he's got a Groudon on the bench, which has no damage on it. It's got 2 energy, and one can only assume he's going to Corinna here for the Primal and the Spirit Link, so that he doesn't have to end... Although, actually, he probably doesn't even want the Spirit Link, because he wants to end the turn with the Wobbuffet active. He's not going to be attacking.
Exactly.
So it doesn't matter if he evolves and ends his turn, so he'd be better off going for...
the Focus Sash.
Focus Sash, or maybe something like a VS Seeker if he doesn't have a support to use the following turn.
It's a shame he doesn't run Hard Charm.
Hard Charm would be key in this matchup.
Ross, beg my pardon, he does not run any Focus Sash.
Oh, he doesn't run Focus Sash?
No. Oh, wait, there's Continued Overleaf.
He does play 2 Focus Sash.
He does. We didn't see the back of this.
We did not, but there's no healing cards there, so...
No.
The Focus Sash, as second it gets hit by that 20 residual damage from the Megalo Cannon, all of a sudden the Focus Sash becomes entirely pointless, and you would imagine that Adam would know that. The weakness is going to be a huge issue here. Now, there is a card that stops this, and we see the evolution to end his turn. There's a card that stops this as Weakness Policy. Now, there's none being played in this list. You said your friend Sam, he made top 8 at UK Masters, just this morning. He didn't play Weakness Policy either, did he?
No, we kind of didn't predict much Virizion Genesect. And, I mean, I guess we were wrong with this because there's one right at the top, which is favourite to win. But in Masters, we didn't predict too much, so I didn't think Weakness Policy was that good a call. And I guess that's the case with Kyle here, but probably not going to pay off.
No, I mean, I don't know how many. I mean, we had about 30. We had 52 juniors, I want to say, about 30 to 50 seniors. Not a huge amount.
Yeah.
But I don't think there were many. I don't think there were many Virizion at all. Interestingly, there was a Plasma Clang that made it right to the top 4 of seniors this year. Okay. But unfortunately, the Plasma Clang fell to the power of Virizion Genesect.
Yeah. Like, Virizion Genesect's still really strong. It beats a lot of the meta decks, beats Groudon. Well, ideally beats Groudon. It can beat Toad, but the problem is getting 2 energy down is now actually quite a struggle. It's just a bit weak to Rayquaza, and that's why people haven't been playing it as much. Indeed.
And even silly little things like Night March. I mean, Night March can do such big damage so quickly with one prize Pokemon that Night March has an absurdly good Virizion Genesect matchup. Because they're generally going to be using Night March to one-hit KO Virizion.
From turn 1 on.
Exactly, quite often before they've even got an Emerald Slash.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, I actually faced Night March, and it killed a Seismitoad in one turn. With 100 on its first turn, 180 damage. Shaman's just too strong.
It really is. Now, what Kyle needs to do here, and it's asking a lot, he needs to get that Groudon active as soon as possible.
To start taking prizes.
And also to get it into the active with a Focus Sash.
Yeah.
If he can get an attack, let's say for instance he can get it up and kill that Virizion. Now, that means that Adam would then have to hit it with a Genesect. There would be no residual damage. The Focus Sash would take effect, and
then his Genesect would die as well.
Absolutely. Now, Kyle's hedging his bets here. He's just attached a strong energy to a second Groudon.
Okay. I think there's a strategy he might be going for, which is instead of Mega Evolving to try and Rip Claw to remove a couple of energies. I don't think that's that strong because you can just die in one hit to the Genesect unless you have Focus Sash, but of course the Genesect can snipe. So I don't think Kyle... I mean, I think that's probably not the right way to go about it. I think you probably should have attached the third to Groudon. Just unless he's got a chance to energy and Mega Turbo next turn, I think he wanted to go a bit more aggressive with the Groudon here. I think that's how you're going to win this matchup.
Absolutely, and let's not discount the possibility here. Like you say, he plays for Mega Turbo. He's going for a speed deck. So let's not discount the possibility here that Kyle's just going to be able to pull off some ridiculous turn and, stream... free Groudons.
It's actually 3 Mega Turbo, but it's all the same, really.
It's still a lot of Mega Turbo. Yeah. And if he can get, 3 Primal Groudons up, he can just trade 1 for 1 and get the win here. Losing that Wobbuffet is completely irrelevant.
Exactly, because it's just the 7th prize, really.
Yeah, I suppose Adam could always try and sunder up a benched Wobbuffet at some point for the KO, but it seems... almost kind of pointless. He's going to be essentially, if you can do 110 to a Wobbuffet, you can probably do 120 to a Primal Groudon.
Exactly, and if you hit with the residual damage of I forgot Genesect's attack for a second. Megalo Cannon. If you hit with the residual damage there, you disregard Focus Sash. I think For this matchup, obviously, Hard Charm would be better, but of course he's not running that, so he's got to stick with what he's got, and it's probably not going to be very nice for him.
No, I do like having a deck list here because it stops our reckless speculation we were having to do up till today, which is pretty good. Now, what Adam's doing here, and I kind of like this, he's just going Emerald Slash, Emerald Slash, Emerald Slash, Emerald Slash. He's going to try and set up essentially all of his Genesects.
Exactly.
He's basically almost daring Kyle to get the KO on his Virizion. And then he's got, potentially 2 or 3 Genesects. And it's going to take a lot of effort for... it's going to take a lot of effort for Kyle to get enough Primal Groudons out to get the win. Now, interestingly, we've just seen Kyle put down a Scorched Earth. Allows him to discard a Fighting Energy and draw 2 cards. Yep. He got rid of the Silent Lab. How useful do you think Silent Lab would be?
I think it was actually Fighting Stadium.
Is that...
Yeah, I think it was Fighting Stadium. I don't think... I know he plays Silent Lab. But yeah, it was the Fighting Stadium.
It was a Fighting Stadium. Well, he plays one Silent Lab, so tell us about Silent Lab. Why would you play that?
Well, I'd play it in this matchup just because Red Signal is shut off. It's really for nothing else in this matchup. In many matchups, say against Toad, say if you're getting a bit of a bad start, but you have Silent Lab down, they can't play their Shamans, they can't draw all their cards, and you have a chance to come back even if you're drawing a bit dead, because basically you force them to draw dead. Oh, this is really interesting. He's playing a Scramble Switch. I'm not sure...
But he's playing a Scramble Switch he's just playing it as a switch to get the Wobbuffet in the active. I think what he did was... essentially didn't have the energy. Although how many energies he got? I think he's got 3 on there.
He's got 3 on there right now, yeah. It's a shame he didn't have the other Groudon active. Maybe thinking about it, if he had no Scramble Switches in his deck, he could have gone for the play of putting his other Groudon active and Scrambled Switch to the Primal one to take the KO. There's another little problem here is that Kyle actually only runs 1 Lysander, and clearly that means he needs to just draw it at the right time. And drawing it at the right time to kill, say, a Genesect would be pretty useful, but he hasn't so far.
No, he does play 3 VS Seeker to reuse it, but exactly. as we saw in the top 8 game this morning where we watched Ollie Fenley take on Michael Cornwall, it doesn't matter if you've got however many VS Seeker you've got. Until you find a Lysandra in your discard pile, it's basically completely irrelevant. Now, Adam isn't going for any residual damage here.
No. I don't know. Maybe he's not seen the Focus Sash yet, but no. I'm not sure. Here, I think he's just going for 2 Wobbuffet kills before he gets 2 Primal Groudon kills. I think really that's his play, because he's got that damage Groudon on the bench, which doesn't look like it's evolving anytime soon. There's going to be a turn where he can Red Signal that, do 20 residual damage on a Primal Groudon, then kill the Primal Groudon next turn. I think this is a smart play. I think this is the way you should go about that matchup if you're Virizion Genesect as well.
Absolutely. And I struggle to think what Kyle can do here. Using that Rip Claw, it's the attack for 2 energy that does 30 damage, or 30 base damage, and it gets rid of an energy on a flip. But not only is it not enough damage, it doesn't get rid of enough energy.
Yeah. He can still retreat and just go into Genesect. It looks like he's only got 2 energy on each Genesect.
Oh, was that the focus? That is a Focus Sash he's got down there. Now the quest. Oh, and he's gone for a Skylar, presumably for a Float Stone or a Switch.
For the Switch. Ross, we're actually forgetting one thing, of course. Adam may not know he runs Focus Sash.
Absolutely.
So he might. The reason he might not be going for the residual damage with the Megalo Cannon is because he doesn't know Focus Sash exists in the deck. However, now he does. So
I'm not entirely convinced he's going to care. Because if you think of the way this is going to go, the Primal Groudon on the bench comes up, gets a KO on the Virizion.
Yeah.
Then the first, because he's got 2 Genesect there, both with 2 energy on, which is exactly what you're looking for. Mm-hmm. He attaches an energy, he does 230 to the Primal Groudon. The Primal Groudon then KOs the Genesect to put Kyle up 4-2. He then just needs 1 Plasma Energy. Yeah. Oh, not even a Lysandra. All he needs is 1 Primal Energy onto the second Genesect. He drags whichever Groudon's got the most energy on the bench active, and he gets the double KO because Primal Groudon's only got 10 HP left.
Yeah.
And not only does he get the double KO, they're then 2 prizes each, but Adam's got he's got the Genesect with a Megalo. He's got the Genesect, sorry.
Yeah.
Kyle has nothing.
He's actually going for Skylar here, and I believe he's picking the Chorus Machine to get the 3rd energy. So I guess he's not actually drawing too well here. I can't really see his hand. But the Colress machine here will mean he gets the attack off, which is kind of all he needs now. As long as he can drag up the Groudon next turn, or even the Wobbuffet, he can go up in this match.
Potentially, but the problem he's got here is that he's only... Oh, he's got the Muscle Band in hand. That's okay. I was going to say he's going to...
I actually can't see this Genesect. It's attacking, but I can only see 2 energy on it.
I
might be blind.
I can only see 2 energy on it. I don't believe...
Is it possible we can tell them to place this a bit better?
I don't know if... I mean, there seems to only be 2 energy. And there is a table judge there, but I can only see 2 energy on the Genesect. I don't know if that's going to be worth going and having a look at. I don't know if he's... I mean, I know he certainly used Emerald Slash a couple of times, so he could have free energy. I just can only see the 2 on there. But I don't like the play of not putting the Muscle Band down. I don't like it at all.
It only does 200 damage, which is actually just not enough here.
So you
really want to do 220. 220 plus. We actually have someone going to have a look. David's gone to have a look to see if the energy on the Genesect is actually correct. Of course, they do have a table judge.
Yeah, I'm sure there is. It's hard to see from this angle, and we have been specifically asked to be vigilant.
Yeah.
Okay. There are free energy. One was just hidden.
Yeah.
But the problem is, by not putting the Muscle Bands on the Genesect, he's basically given away the opportunity to get the KO with the residual damage.
Exactly. I think actually the Skylar for the Muscle Band is probably better, unless he didn't have it in the deck.
No, he had Muscle Band in hand.
Oh, he had Muscle Band.
Yeah, we had a good shot of his hand. He had Muscle Band. He chose not to put it down. And Kyle is improbably here.
Going to win.
I think he's going to win.
Because here he takes 4th prize. The a chance Adam has, of course, still that he can end him and take a KO. 2 prize KO. Because
it looks like there's 2 energy on that. Now there's the 3rd. The key is Kyle is going to have the 4th energy next turn.
I think possible play here for Adam is to end him, remove the kill the Primal Groudon, as well as snipe the Wobbuffet for 20, and then get himself Plasma Energy or something for the win next turn. But he'd have to end him here. Let's check. He does play 4
N. He plays a full suite of N.
Yeah. So
now there we go. But this is too late.
Yeah.
Now is there? Oh, now here's the thing. There is no Focus Sash on that bench Primal Groudon.
Exactly. It's got Spirit Link.
He's got Spirit Link.
He'd have to hit his Tool Retriever or an energy to remain in the game. So actually, this play it's probably not what he should have done. But
he's got the Plasma Energy. I don't know if he's red signaling.
He did not red signal. No.
This is what I don't understand. If he'd put the Muscle Band on the Genesect last turn...
Yeah, he can red signal now to take 4
He'd take 4 prizes, knock out all of Kyle's energy, and he's got
3.
the win.
Yeah, actually, he could take 4 prizes by killing the...
Because that Groudon active would have 10 HP left by virtue of the Focus Sash. Now, I think he had a Muscle Band in hand, but regardless, he had...
he didn't end him, so I think this is game over.
I mean, this is game over now. There's nothing he can do.
If he has an energy...
If Kyle's got an energy, he wins here. All Adam had to...
The Wobbuffet died for some reason.
The Wobbuffet had 98 damage.
Oh, I thought it had 70. I'm sorry.
Because he had 70 originally from the
Emerald Slash.
From the Emerald Slash,
and he did 20 on the bench with the first. Yeah.
But this is... I mean, Kyle's going to get this game here if he's got an energy. Well, that's the key. If he's got an energy, he's got the win.
Yeah.
And Adam... Now, I don't know if he had... Oh, there's a Mega Turbo. So he's got the energy.
It's game over.
I'm pretty sure he had the Muscle Band in hand, but even if he didn't have the Muscle Band in hand, he played a Skylar.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see one in his deck, but if you said you got...
I'm sure I saw a Muscle Band in his hand.
I mean, this is just game over. I'm not really sure why it's being continued.
And he does play 3 Muscle Bands. There's plenty of them in the deck, and we'd only seen him play the 1 with the Virizion. I don't see why this game's still going on. He's got 2 prizes left.
Yeah.
Oh, of course, yes, it has just been pointed out. There's no stadium in play. I forget this a lot.
Of course, I just believed it did 200 immediately. Of course, this actually only does 140 right now. And he's ending himself to 2, hoping to hit the stadium. Now, I don't think this is actually going to hit it. I believe he only runs 5. 3 Scorched Earth, 1 Silent Lab, and 1 Fighting Stadium.
He has got a very small deck, though. Now,
he has discarded a lot of them, though.
He has. One thing which I saw earlier in the game, there was a Silent Lab that was not really doing anything, and he replaced it with another stadium that didn't really do anything.
Yeah.
I would quite like to have seen him not remove the... knowing It doesn't look like he's got it, or we put it down by
Does
now.
not look like he's got it. However, Adam also has only 2 cards in hand, and I mean I can't see what they are because he keeps flicking them. But I believe I caught a glimpse of Verse Seeker, and if that's the case, Adam will win this game.
Well, he's going to need a muscle band. Oh, there is no stadium, so he's only able.
There's actually a Lysander in his hand. He drags up the Groudon and wins the game.
Yeah, so he's gotten away with it. Then I'm sure I saw a muscle band in his hand on the previous turn. Kyle gets unlucky there, but I think there was a time earlier in the game where he killed his own stadium,
which wasn't worth it.
Yeah, and he didn't get a particularly tangible benefit from it. And in a game like this where you're so reliant on state, because if Primal Groudon isn't one-hit KOing, it's useless. And he's only one-hit KOing with a stadium. So the stadium's become incredibly useful here.
And if you run 5, which I believe is the correct number, to be honest, that you shouldn't really be freely discarding your own.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that. So, I mean, the right person won, I think, given the way the game played out. But I think, there were... And, we've got to bear in mind, they are seniors, they are younger people, they haven't been playing for as long.
It's a shame. We can't go and tell them to do the correct plays. That's
well,
what I want to do.
Subjectively correct player, we could be wrong. Heck, I've been, this is now the...
We could be, but we're older.
This is the 11th game that I've streamed this weekend. I assure you I've made a lot of mistakes. And every single one has been tweeted at me.
Oh, that's nice.
But, I mean, Adam has to be the overwhelming favourite here. And
I believe so, yeah.
I think that game went on a bit longer than it needed to. And I think both players made little mistakes. We are talking about a Nationals final. So, I was looking at, and I won't name names or specifics, but I just, we had a little bit of a break in the stream. And I went out and I watched at least the kind of latter half of both the top 4 matches in Masters. And I saw some fairly significant misplays being made because, and especially here, now we've not had this confirmed by the distributors yet, but our belief is that the winner of this game is going to get a paid invite to Worlds.
Yeah, we believe so.
The loser, now that's what we've been led to believe, but it's not been officially confirmed.
Right, the loser gets 300 championship points and gets an invite, but not a paid invite.
Indeed. Now they've also, 300 points is going to give them a good chance of getting into top 22.
Of course, yeah. Well, I believe it gives Kyle a good chance. However, Adam, I'm not so sure. He's gone to fair few events. He actually came second this year at ECC. In seniors. However, he's also had a few unlucky runs where I believe he went 0-4 at regionals, which, I mean, if you go top 2 at ECC, it's not really expected, but
no.
I don't believe his championship point total is actually amazingly high, so I think he really wants to go for the free trip. Well, obviously he does anyway.
I think they're both going to want to go for the free trip.
However, I believe Kyle is in the top 22 for seniors.
Oh, is he?
In Europe, yeah.
And of course, you can then add on, because when you're in, essentially, if you're in top 22 before Nationals and you make the final, you're going to make top 22.
He's got gained at least 300 points. Exactly. I think he's on 1,100 points.
Oh, wow.
So,
yeah. See, we estimate the seniors to be around 800 and talking to a few people, so that seems pretty, or maybe even a bit less. Oh, Wobbuffet's a nice start here.
Very nice start.
It just presents, and one thing that Adam would... See, on the one hand, Adam would like to drag the Groudon active before it becomes Primal, but then on the other hand, he can't give up the energy attachments for the Virizion, so maybe the Wobbuffet... I think the Wobbuffet's more of a... It's kind of a weird one. It's more useful mid-game to stop the Primal Groudon being dragged active by Red Signal, but come mid-game you want to be attacking.
This is not looking good for Kyle. He drew. He played a Scorched Earth, discarded Fighting, drew 2 cards, one of them being a Primal Groudon, with no Groudon in play, and passed. So, I mean, he has another Fighting NG for the Scorched Earth next turn. However, if Adam can replace this as one of his Verbanks, Kyle is not going to be in very good shape here.
It's not going to be in good shape at all. We should mention it didn't really come up very much in the previous game, but Adam does play a full suite of 4 Hypnotoxic Laser, and he does play 2 Verbank City Gym. Here's the key, though. Adam, even next turn, Adam couldn't knock out the Wobbuffet.
Of course,
the absolute maximum he can do is 50 for a muscle-banded, he's got the muscle band on, the Emerald Slash, and then 30 for the poison with Laser Verbank.
Yeah, well, actually 70, but yeah, he could. It's still not a knockout.
Oh, it's a chorus for 1.
Oh, dear.
I think if I were him, I would have waited a couple of turns, because Adam has got to bench something.
He has to bench something for the Emerald Slash. I think I think it's a common thing in the UK. We chorus for low cards in the finals.
We do, and it happens a lot. And we saw this in the I remember a couple of years ago when the plasma cards had just come out. We saw Robert Kimbram chorus to 2
in the final against Sammy.
And just draw them nuts.
Yeah,
and just go completely off.
Juniper and something else. It didn't really matter what it was. I think he was in a good position. He did. It looks like he did draw a supporter, but that supporter might be chorus.
And we see a Skylar from Adam here. I can only...
No, it's not chorus, because he only runs one.
I can only assume Adam is going to... Yeah, he's going to Skylar for an Ultra Ball, and then presumably Ultra Ball for a Genesect.
Yeah.
One would assume, because as we saw in the previous game, now Kyle had a really good chance to pull out the previous game.
Yeah.
Based on, essentially, I've got 2 Primal Groudons and I'm abusing Focus Sash. This is not going to be the case in this particular game, with Adam getting this faster start and Kyle getting this slow.
No, he's already got 70 on the Wobbuffet. That's KO next turn. I don't believe Kyle is actually drawing that well. He might have an N. That might have been an N he drew. We'll have to wait and see.
Now the good news is we're gonna get a KO from Adam. I say good news for Adam.
Yeah.
Oh no, sorry, no, because that was
Oh.
No, everything got done in a funny order, and it looked like he'd done the attack the previous turn, but he hadn't.
He has a switch, but that looks like it's all he has.
Oh, I'm
not sure what card it was. I believe I saw. Then it wasn't N.
It may well have been a switch. There's a little bit.
It's probably a switch.
And it should be pointed out that we're watching this on a very, very small monitor. And a tiny window on a larger monitor.
Yeah. I don't know why it's in that order, but okay.
But we've got the sofa, so that's the main thing.
Yeah, see, now he is going for the muscle band. I think he's realised you can hit the 120 on the Wobbuffet, do 20 on the bench run, and then basically whatever happens. Okay, he's not actually going for that play. He's going for 1 more energy onto the Genesect. I think maybe killing the Wobbuffet was probably better here, considering how Kyle's drawing. Just to do the 20. So even if Kyle did manage to get a Groudon, he can't get the Primal, and he could, and Adam could... Did I say Adam? Sorry. Kyle wouldn't be able to get the Primal, so Adam could then Red Signal or Lysander for the game.
Indeed. Oh, and finally, he draws a Fighting Energy, uses Scorched Earth to draw 2 cards, finally gets a Corinna, and presumably here he's going to be going for a Groudon, and, I mean, you'd think some kind of consistency card, although there isn't much. I mean, probably a VS Seeker.
He looks like he's going for Professor's Letter because he's lacking energy.
That would also make absolute perfect sense. That would be a good call.
I'm not so sure about Adam's hand, but if he had any way of a decent hand to possibly draw a Plasma Energy, I would have definitely gone for the Genesect attack to kill the Wobbuffet, do 20 on the bench Wobbuffet. The most Kyle could really draw there was 1 Groudon, not Primal it. So a Red Signal or a Lysander means game over.
Indeed.
If he drew more Pokemon, then he takes 4 prizes. So
yeah, I mean, absolutely. And because you're right, I mean, here he's not able to get the double. I mean, he would have got a KO and then put the Wobbuffet in line for the residual damage KO, which is an opportunity he's now missed, unfortunately.
There is a problem. Maybe he didn't have the NG in hand, but we can't actually see his hand well enough. I believe he had a way to get NG because I think I saw a supporter in his hand. But if not, then this play was obviously perfectly fine. Yeah. Oh, well, he's had Sycamore, so... And
I mean, the thing, we call it Juniper until it's rotated.
Okay.
One of the things, of course, we must point out that Adam... he's probably not feeling under very much pressure. He's probably, and we've all been there, and you're in the, well, hopefully we've been there, you're in the big game, and you're on a bit of a roll. You won game 1, your opponent's drawing dead, you have got a beautiful setup, and that can actually lead to some little misplays, because when you're behind or you're really under pressure, you're looking for that optimum play to really give you an advantage, get you into the game.
I actually made a small mistake. He, of course, can't Red Signal when Wobbuffet is active, so he wouldn't be able to support play a supporter in order to get a Red Signal.
That's absolutely a good point. I should have. There's 2 of us here. One of us should have pointed that out.
Yeah.
But we fixed it before we had a chance to look at my Twitter and see all the abuse I'm getting.
It's been a long day, okay?
So that's been a lot. Well, you made it all the way to top 8, and I'm on my 11th round of streaming for the weekend.
Yeah. It's been a tiring weekend.
Indeed, although he could still potentially have tried to get a Lysandre, etc. So, that play was absolutely, the play you described was still a potentially viable play. It was still something that could have happened.
I believe it's probably the best one. But, of course, it's quite unfair. We are dealing with the seniors here.
Indeed, and we see a VS Seeker there, and the best option he's got from VS Seeker is a Colress for 4.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if Adam is deliberately keeping his bench small. I mean, he only plays 3 Virizion, 3 Genesect, 4 Virizion, 3 Genesect and a Jirachi. But keeping his bench small is actually giving him a real advantage here.
Yeah.
Because he knows that Kyle is going to be relying on VS Seeker, as everybody does when they're drawing poorly. And he's basically just screwing Kyle out of cards on VS Seeker.
He's limiting him to Chorus for 4, which at least slows him down by a turn. Yeah. Even though he might draw into a supporter here, it's probably not enough. I mean, he has actually got the Primal, so...
But he's got the Spirit Link and not the Focus Sash.
Oh, okay. Well, I believe he runs 1 Tool Retriever. Yeah, he runs.
There is one Tool Retriever actually, so yes, you're absolutely correct. So and again, he's not really drawing well enough to warrant it, to believe it's going to happen. But one of the things which must be pointed out here, as Jake has told us, is he's got a Tool Retriever. And it's going to be a very difficult thing to pull off. But Tool Retriever Focus Sash would be a nice play right about now.
We see Lysander put in the discard pile. I'm not really sure what happened there. There seemed to be a bit of a dispute. But we'll just have to... That is really strange. I'm not... Oh, he played it to bring up the damaged Wobbuffet. Okay.
Yes, of course. So to get the kill on the Wobbuffet, and then almost played a second supporter.
Yeah, this is why I was getting confused, because it seemed like the play was obvious after doing the Lysander to just attack. However, he then tried to play a second supporter, and I can't blame him.
I was going to say, are we really going to mention second supporters and skirt around the issue?
I managed to actually do it yesterday.
I know. I thought. Yeah. I didn't know about that because I wasn't told about any penalties given out because I'm not a judging staff.
Of course not. But yeah,
I had a hint it was going to happen.
And anyone watching, I'm the guy who did that in top 4.
I might have told the story on the stream yesterday.
Thanks. Yeah, it's not too uncommon with these sort of power cards. These cards that don't search your deck. You can play that. You sort of play them forgetting they're not really supporters, to be honest.
Indeed. They're supporters that are kind of... They do what we'd expect trainers to do. We expect supporters to be drawing. So,
exactly.
We play something like a Lysandra or a Trump card, and then we immediately want to play a Juniper, because in our heads we're thinking, right, I'm going to pull him up, but then I need to get the KO, so I need a strong energy, so I'll play a Juniper to get the strong energy. Yeah. And of course, we're in the final of Nationals here. It's very easy to make silly mistakes when you're under that kind of pressure.
Yeah.
A trip to Boston from the UK with hotel and flights, you're talking about £2,000.
And for their parents as well, because of course this is seniors.
Indeed. So you're talking £4,000 or about $6,000. That is a huge amount of money to be riding on a game. And
it is a lot.
We'd hope that the seniors aren't sitting there going, this is going to make me lots of... But in reality, it's got to kind of play on them.
Oh, wow. He's hit with the Megalo Cannon on the bench, and of course, even if he does Tool Retriever for a Focus Sash now, this really is not enough. He has got a Focus Sash on the Groudon on the bench, but
he's never going to have enough energy. You see he plays the end here, and he's going to put Adam down to 3 cards. But one of the things about Virizion Genesect is it's one of the most end-proof decks there is.
It doesn't need cards.
As soon as it doesn't need. You don't need cards. He's got 2 Genesect with 3 energy on.
Exactly, yeah.
He doesn't need... the absolute worst case scenario, he might need an energy or a switch to get that other Genesect out of the active, were it to be pulled active.
Yeah.
And that's literally the absolute most he could need. And that's if Kyle were to use his single Lysandra to go for some kind of stalling play here.
Yeah, of course you can loop them with Seeker. But, yeah, we're looking at basically... end of a game here. He's going to hit for a KO with Megalo Cannon and damage the Groudon on the bench.
Absolutely.
So that Focus Sash won't actually come into effect.
No.
This is kind of... I think I thought through this matchup wrong. It's very one-sided for the Virizion Genesect.
Indeed. You made a good argument at the beginning of the stream. You pointed out the things that Kyle could do to win and the things that could go in his favour to win. And what you said was absolutely true. The problem is it takes a lot of stuff to go right for Kyle to get the win here.
He'd really have to go... to be honest, the list as it is, without Hard Charm or without healing cards, is going to be... it's just going to be a hard matchup. It's going to be an uphill struggle the whole way. You really have to get very, very fast Mega Turbos and Primal Groudon. No.
Yeah, absolutely.
He removed an... Oh, he did Ripclaw.
He did
Ripclaw.
That's absolutely amazing.
I've never been happier to see a Ripclaw. Now he's Junipering.
But again, he doesn't even need an energy here.
No, of course, he can just retreat.
Oh no, because he would still need a muscle band though, because there's only 20 damage on the Groudon, which means a regular Megalo Cannon without a muscle band would only do 200, leaving on 220.
I believe it's going, like here though, he Megalo Cannons the active Groudon. I'm not actually sure it's got any damage, so I don't think it's for a KO. But then the Megalo Cannon does 20 on the bench, so it will bring him in range of a knockout with Megalo Cannon anyway.
Absolutely. Now here, you're right, I believe there is a Focus Sash and no damage on there.
Yeah.
So it's going to do, it's going to do the... lots of... There we go, 170 damage. But now, a Plasma Energy for the win.
Yeah.
He's got 3 prizes left. If he plays a Plasma Energy onto either Genesect, they've both got enough to attack.
Yeah.
He can bring the Primal Groudon from the bench active and kill both of them in one go.
I think here he's going for the Plasma Energy because that's I mean, he can still bring up the Primal Groudon. He could have brought it up this turn and actually removed it if he got a Plasma Energy. So he could have knocked it out of the game, taken 2 more prizes. And in fact, I'm not sure if I can see that prize properly, but I think he's only got 3 left.
He has got 3 left, yes.
So then he's even a Wobbuffet kill gives him the game.
I mean, honestly, at this point, he could even just drag up the Wobbuffet and then, kill the Wobbuffet. I mean, he needs to Primal Evolve the active so that it can't be killed by residual damage.
No, definitely neither of those. Okay, that was an Ultra Ball that discarded the 2 supporters. Neither of them were played. We have to be really vigilant with this because 2 supporters is just such a common thing now that you don't have to put it in the middle of the playfield.
Now, do we know if Adam's gone through any Plasma Energy yet?
I don't believe I've seen one this game.
Because he plays 4 Plasma Energy and he plays... Where are we looking here?
Shadow Triad.
Now, he only plays a 1 Lysandra.
Yeah.
But he also plays, obviously, the 3 VS Seeker, and there is a Shadow Triad as well. Oh, and he's got everything he needs.
And that's it. That's the end.
And, the game essentially went as we thought it would. It's not terribly surprising, but it's one of those things where, unfortunately for Kyle, he just... he's a fantastic player. He did really well. It's an absolute credit, and he's done fantastically. But when you're playing Primal Groudon and you get to the final of Nationals against a really good Virizion Genesect player who's also done well enough to make it to the final of Nationals,
you're probably not going to be in good standing. However, I believe this means Kyle has a top 22 invite to Worlds, and I believe this gives Adam Gregson a free trip. Of course, this isn't confirmed. But both of them getting a free trip here is probably the best end result.
Yeah, that's really, really good. It's always nice to see, you got the seniors, and you see a lot of the time, if the parents, for whatever reason, don't want to or can't go to Nationals for work commitments or whatever, if you get a paid invite, then it's for you and a Guardian, and they're going to get to go to Worlds.
Of course, exactly, which is great. Like, I've been twice myself, and it's one of the best experiences I've ever had in this game. It's... honestly, more fun than Nationals. You go with some friends, you stay in a hotel for like a weekend, couple of days, and you play a bit of Pokemon. I recommend it to anyone.
It's a very good time indeed. So thank you very much for that, Jake. I very much appreciate your help on that one.
It's all right. You got me in for the short game. That was smart.
We are going to be back at some point. I'm not entirely sure when, but the only game left is the Masters final. Now, they were put on a little bit of a lunch break, so I can't confirm exactly when that's going to start.
I believe it's actually 2 o'clock.
Is it actually 2 o'clock?
I believe so, yes.
Well, it's about 2 minutes to 2 now.
Yeah.
So I'm going to tweet out, when that's starting. It shouldn't be too long. So honestly, if I were you, just sit by the stream and, just relax, make yourself a cup of tea, make a sandwich. We're going to be back very shortly with the Masters final from UK Nationals. And it is a Seismitoad Shaman mirror, as if we couldn't see that coming.